Hi there everybody, welcome to day 39, Sunday. 39 days almost gone now of our lockdown. Been listening to quite a bit of different music. There's a bit of music playing in the background on my office system here, which is from a group called Chicane, and that's quite cruisy music. Anyhow, just thought today, when you're listening to music, what really sort of makes it a special occasion? What makes it really interesting for you and what makes it pleasurable? Well, for me, I like turning the lights down and having a dark room, just watching those tubes glow. That sort of really focuses the senses, I think. And I like a nice Pinot Noir, glass of red, to accompany the music. Those two things just add up to a very nice evening for me. And I think when you think about your senses, you've got your eyes, your ears, your senses of smell and taste. Obviously, when you turn off your senses, you turn off your eyes, as it were, by closing them to listen to music. It focuses your ears on what you're listening to. And I think that glass of red wine focuses your appreciation just that little bit as well. So those are the things that work for me. And I guess if you think about movies, they're exactly the opposite of music, because movies demand that you pay attention to the visual of what's going on. You're bombarded with the audio, especially if you've got a pretty kick-ass home theatre system like we have here in PQ Towers. And you are basically having to concentrate on that whole thing, listening to the dialogue, piecing together the action and what's going on. With music, I think you're very much in a different space. You're relaxing and you're allowing that music to just communicate with your soul, as it were. And that to me is very special, and that's what makes music so enjoyable for me, is that connection that you can have that is different to anything else. It's just quite unique. And I think if you can get a system that communicates on an emotional level and puts you closer to that music, then that's really something special. And it can happen at all different levels. So pursue that dream of better sound by focusing on what really does it for you in the music, because everybody listens differently too. I've got mates that listen with one side of their brain, they listen in an analytical way, and then I listen more in an emotional way, and I listen more for the space and the scale of the music, the depth. All of those sort of things are very important to me. And I know when I'm trying to communicate with people about how I listen to music and get feedback from them on how they listen, different people listen to music in different ways. For example, you'll get somebody who will listen to one track and they'll listen to a part of that track, and when they're comparing to different pieces of equipment, they'll just listen to that one little track or one piece of a track over and over on different bits of gear. It becomes more of a test. Can I hear a difference? Is there some small little difference? Does that sound a little bit more tinkly than the other? And they get hung up on that side of things. To me, that is the wrong way to listen to music. I think you need to listen to music as a whole. Listen through a complete piece of music. Listen to 3 or 4 different types of music with different musicians over a period of a few days when you're in different moods and at different states of mind. And then you'll get a better feel for what that system is doing than if you start just taking tiny little snippets and trying to compare them. It becomes a test, it becomes an exam. And that's not what music should be about. Music should be about relaxing you, involving you, communicating to you. So those are the sort of things that I think are important in a system. Let me know in the comments down below what you think, because everybody is different. And let me know what sort of music you listen to as well. I'd be really interested to know. I'm a great lover of finding new music, and everybody that I come in contact with, I ask them to play me their favourite music, and quite often jot that down and go and grab the CD or download that music, because you get introduced to stuff that you just never knew existed, and it's can be a very, very nice thing to find some music that really floats your boat, gets in contact with you emotionally. So give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video. By all means subscribe, because we'd like to get our numbers up so that we can expose this wonderful hobby that we have of listening to music and enjoying high quality equipment. We'd like to expose that to more people. So please subscribe, like, and share this video around. And I'll see you on the other side when we go into the big room for some music. Okay, so this is our album that we're going to play a track of. It's from Jennifer Warnes, called Famous Blue Raincoat, and I'm going to play the track called Bird on a Wire. Well, this issue of the Absolute Sound is from July-August 87, and it's got a few gems in it. This one here is a cartoon that I actually put into one of my newsletters years ago. A guy shooting the moggy because it climbed up his planer loudspeaker. Anybody who's had cats and Magenapners will know exactly what that's all about. But in this magazine there's also a really nice article on the VTL monoblocks, which were the very first ones that I heard of VTL. They were pretty plain Jane looking, and they didn't have the fit and finish of modern VTLs, but boy, they sounded really great and got me very interested in the brand. And what he goes on to say here, the reviewer, is if you're a serious audiophile, you might want to listen to these products. Their highly distinctive sound will either appeal or deter on first hearing, and if it proves attractive, try to spend some time with these units. They are outstanding components that reveal their true worth slowly and whose performance capabilities cannot be mastered in the course of abbreviated listening. And that is exactly what I was talking about a little earlier today in my comments about people listening to very short snippets of music. Sometimes the true beauty of a component will only come out after a period of extended listening, when you really get a handle on what it's doing. And I think with tube electronics that initially you can pick up on the differences and go, wow, that's terrific, but it's only after a period of time that you really appreciate just how much they're delivering and how many different levels you can appreciate them on. So very interesting comments back in this old issue of Absolute Sound, including a review of the PROAC speakers, the Studio 1s, which later became the Studio 100s, and they're a classic, all-time great, still being manufactured today, some almost 33 years later. So yeah, quite incredible longevity to great products.